This week on The Bachelor.
You said to someone?
Time out. That's a lie. One of these women is being deceitful.
Did anybody have a conversation?
This is the biggest gamble of my life. It makes me question who's here for the right reason.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of The Bachelor, Season 29, Episode 3. Let's get right into this. Alright, so the episode starts with a foreshadowing of Carolina telling Grant something that she heard, and then Grant says to her that's a lie, and question of my character, who told you that? Then we go back to the beginning. It's the beginning of week 3. The women are waking up at the mansion. They're talking about the unique dreams that they had. So Jesse then arrives. There will be 2 one-on-one dates and 1 group date this week. The group date starts right now. So by finding out who is part of the group date, they will know who the 2 are, the 2 that are going to get the one-on-ones. So those going on the group date are Natalie, Bailey, Alex, Allie Joe, Chloe, Serafina, Dina, Parissa, Rose, Zoe, and Latia, and Juliana. They're going on the group date, and the card reads, "Love is the greatest investment." So that means Carolina and Beverly are going to have the one-on-one dates. So the women meet up with Grant. He is in finance, so he's all about trading and banking and the finance of it all. And that's why the card mentioned investment. So they go into this building and they're going to have a class on finance. And there's a man from Shark Tank who's going to be like the guest lecturer, and some lady who is a comedian and a podcaster. She doesn't even know why she's there, so let alone us. But they're going to teach a class. The women go to change and put on some nice business outfits, and then they sit down. Parissa was really smart on sitting next to Grant. She quickly clocked that. The podcaster lady then starts asking questions, and the women write their answers on a whiteboard. And the comedian and the shark choose what answer they like the best, and they have money that they will give to whoever has the best answer that they like. Each woman has a little box, so they deposit money on the answer that they like, and the one who has the most money will get special time with Grant. Now, some of the questions were actual questions that needed a correct answer, but the hosts didn't really seem to care. They just gave money to whoever the hell they wanted to give money. So after that, they get in these things where you need to grab as much money as you can, and then after counting all of the money up, the winner is Bailey. I'm glad because last week she had a rough time. So it's the night portion of the day and they're dressed nicely. Bailey brought her fake money, and then she's given a menu of different things that she can waste her money on, like one of Grant's shirts for 8,000 or whatever. So when Grant comes over, she decides that she will take one of his shirts and dessert for both of them, and that's what they do. And she had a pleasant time with him. Then some of the other women have time with him. Parissa had an idea of playing Chubby Bunny with him, and I thought that was actually pretty funny. I like that she had that idea. I think being able to laugh together is like a key ingredient of falling in love, so I think she did a good job. So Zoe is feeling bad. She tells the other girls that she didn't feel okay at this date at all. She felt out of her element. She felt like she didn't spend much time with Grant, and she starts to cry. And people feel bad for her because she's crying. It's natural to feel bad for somebody, but others like Allie Joe and Serafina are having a hard time being super empathetic because they remember that last week she took up a bunch of time for herself and left no time for the others. So Zoe got up to go get a drink, and Serafina made a comment about how short Zoe's dress was. She said, "Oh, that's one of the shortest dresses I've seen in my life." And Zoe heard her, and she was super upset. She then goes to talk to Grant, and she tells him that she was very out of her element today. And then she literally tells him, "Girls are throwing jabs at me, talking about my dress." And he asks, "Who was it?" she doesn't want to say, and he says that's okay. He doesn't want her to be uncomfortable, and he doesn't want her not to be herself because of others. If I were Grant, I would see this as a red flag, as red as the color of that dress was, because it comes across as you're bringing drama with you. Then he talks to Juliana. I really like her. She's very nice. She says that she enjoyed seeing him in his element today. She then asks him to tell her more about himself, and he says he likes dogs a lot and whatnot, and they laugh a lot, and he tells her that he definitely has a crush on her since the basketball game the other day. Seeing her like trying hard and then feeling a little frustrated, but she was still having fun. That was really attractive to him. Grant then decides to give the group date rose to Parissa. You know what? I think she deserved it. It was a good move of her to make her time to with him to be really playful. Now here's the awkward part. After Grant gives the group date rose to Parissa, he references the mess that Zoe went to go tell him, and he's pretty vague about it. He just says, "I've heard rumors, and I don't want y'all to be belittling anyone. I want everybody to be nice." And also the girls are like, what? They ask Zoe, did you say something? And Zoe says, I can chat whatever I want to chat with him. I was like, oh yeah, this girl's drama. Then they try to talk to her like in a nice tone, but she starts crying and saying everybody's so mean. Okay. So then it is the next day and everybody's in tears. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Well, apparently what Grant said hurt a lot of them. I was thinking they're doing way too damn much at this point. Anyway, Carolina gets going on her date. When she arrives to her destination, she sees Grant standing outside of a private jet, and they're going to Vegas. That's super cool. They had fun in the plane, freestyling, eating, joking, drinking. They arrive to their destination, and they're gonna do a Bachelor classic. Jump down from a gigantic tower. Honestly, they were both feeling a little nervous. I like that Carolina didn't make a whole scene about it though. Like, she actually did it. But props to both of them for doing it, because you guys, I will never do something like this. But like the will to jump off of something so high or a plane, I must imagine it must be like, there's a possibility that you could die. Like, that's crazy. But they had fun and they actually did it twice. So then it's the night portion of the day, and they're heading to have dinner at this very nice place, and they get to talking. He says that he had a lot of fun today. He's glad that she allows him to be himself. He does want to ask her if she's ready for marriage, like what makes her think she is, and she says that she is. She's always wanted marriage and kids. She says that he has qualities that she hasn't been able to find in other people before. Like, hearing him talk about his dad kind of shows his empathy. She then cries about people staying for the long run, and this is an opportunity for her to open up about a disability that she has. And she starts to tell a story about when she was young, she had a seizure. She has epilepsy, and he's she's talking about how that can be a lot for friends or a partner, but like that's a part of who she is. So if she ends up with someone, that's something they're going to have to be a part of as well. Grant showed a lot of empathy, and he says that if he becomes her husband, like, he would put her first, always, regardless of the challenges. He offers her the rose, and she accepts. Also, I have to say, what is up with these kisses? You know what? Never mind. Never mind. Okay, so it's a new day, and something crazy happened, y'all. Remember that Beverly was supposed to get the one-on-one date? Yeah, she got sick, and she had to go, and she's not coming back. I wonder what happened. I hope she's all right. So they get a new date card, and it's going to be a group date with Serafina, Dina, and Latia. It said this could be puppy love. So the three women are going on this group date. So they get going, and you guys, guess where they go? Vanderpump Dogs. Now, if you're a subscriber to my channel, you know housewives are the main thing I cover, and LVP is one of the greatest of all time. So I was so happy to see her here. They're taking individual pictures with dogs, and the queen herself comes out. So they start to do things like washing a dog with Daisy, and Lisa is telling some of the women that Grant loving dogs is a huge green flag. He then talks to Serafina. I'm gonna be totally honest, I don't see much of a spark with them, especially the way we've seen him with some of the other women. With Latia, I do see a bit more, and he actually decides to have dinner with her later tonight. So it is now later, and back in the house, Carolina is freaking out because Grant is now with three girls. She even says that she kind of even wishes that she didn't even go on a date with him because now she's like second guessing and all this stuff. Now that's crazy because, number one, you know what show you freaking signed up for. Two, you actually had a great date. And lastly, you're saying this is girls that haven't even had the same opportunity as you. So that was so whack of her. Anyway, back to Grant and Latia. They have dinner, and Grant says that she is someone who he can really see in his future. She then asks him about his family. He says that he grew up in New Jersey with his mom, sister, and dad. He talked about his dad's addiction and mostly about his mom, who was really the one holding down the fort. But because she was holding down the fort, it didn't she didn't get have the opportunity to be as affectionate as much as he could have liked, but that's why he's extra affectionate and wants to share with someone and have a family. She then tells him about her parents. She's biracial. Unfortunately, her dad died in a car accident when she was only 3. It's really sad how her mom was 23 with a 3-year-old baby and her husband just died. That was very sad. But she had a great village with her mom, her uncles, her aunts, and she's really close with her mom. And she says that she actually misses her a lot right now. I really respect her for being open and honest. Grant then has a great idea. They FaceTime Latia's mom, the both of them, and I thought that was really sweet. He then offers her the rose and she accepts, and they go outside where there's an orchestra playing and then they dance. So that was a very successful date. Back at the mansion, however, Carolina is still crying, so apparently she had a conversation with Rose. Remember last week when they had a group date where the woman had to sing along, they had to sing a song and then Grant chose a winner and he danced with Carolina and they made out because he chose her as the winner? Well, according to Carolina, Rose told her that Grant said he was actually thinking of Rose when he was dancing with Carolina. Oh my gosh. So it is then a new day. The women are all hanging out in the house. There's a knock on the door, and they left a box with a card that reads, "Will you go to prom with me?" And the box was full of those flower things that girls wear on their wrists during prom. So the theme of the party is going to be prom. So they all go to get ready. So it's later, and everybody's ready. Grant then says that he has 4 guests with him, and it's some older men. They're from the Golden Bachelorette, and they're there to give some advice. They actually had like a real prom, a dance party, drinks, food. It was cool. He then has some great conversations with Dina, for example. She's the attorney who works really hard, but she also enjoys life. I really like Dina. He also had a great moment with Alex and with Zoe too. They had a special prom dance. Okay, but there's still drama. Carolina's still in her head. So she goes to talk to Grant. She says to him, I came back from our date feeling very great, but that ended when I came back because I've heard things in the house. And he says, what did you hear? And she says, I heard that you were thinking of someone else when you were dancing with me. And he's like, what? Who told you that? Like, that would be disrespectful for me. Like, that's a lie. And that's really a question of my character. And he says, was it Bailey? Was it Dina? Was it Latia? I thought, damn, Grant, why you think it was Bailey first? Anyway, Carolina says, no, like, I don't want this to be a thing. And I thought to myself, girl, then why would you bring it up to him? It gets on my nerves when it's on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, when somebody goes to the main character, whether it's Bachelor or Bachelorette, and they go to snitch what the drama is, and then when they ask who is it, they're like, oh, well, no, I don't want to tell you. Stand on it then, or don't bring it up, okay? But Grant is really upset. He then goes and grabs Rose. He guessed correctly. He then asks her, did you tell Carolina that I was thinking about you when I was dancing with her? And she says, I thought that was something I heard you say. And he says, no, that's disrespectful. It would make me look bad. Like it would make me look like I'm not being serious. He was upset. And she says, I guess that was a mistake. I must have misinterpreted what you said. I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. But it was definitely very uncomfortable and awkward. I really wanted to know, what did he actually say to Rose that made her think that. And I went on social media, and I someone actually posted it from the clip from last week. He didn't say that he was thinking of Rose when he was dancing with Carolina. He said that during the group day he was thinking of her, which is not the same. I could see her, so she didn't totally make it up. I could see her thinking it, but that's clearly not what she meant. But also, why would you even say that to another girl? Like, it was a conversation between you and Grant. Why say it to someone else? That's where she went wrong. Okay? Grant then goes to Carolina to clarify that he just talked to Rose, and that uh, they cleared it up, that he never said that, and that made her feel better. But now Carolina is spending even more time with him, and she already has a Rose. So the other women are a little frustrated, and I felt bad for them. The older men come and they crown Grant as prom king, and they give all the ladies a crown so they can all be queens. Then it is time for the rose ceremony. Carolina, Latia, and Parissa already have a rose, and then the first rose goes to Zoe, then Juliana, Alex, Dina, Natalie, Serafina, and lastly, Rose. Really, I could not believe he didn't pick Bailey or Chloe. Wow, so Bailey, Chloe, and Allie Joe are eliminated. Man, I would love to see Chloe as the Bachelorette. Even though they canceled the Bachelorette this year, that's a whole other different thing. But I'd like to see her again. I thought she was a nice girl, and so was Bailey. Um, yeah, listen, the women, or the number of women, is becoming smaller and smaller. And it's only week 3. I was like, wow, very few women left. But yeah, he's getting right to the point. But it was a good episode. Carolina's a little too dramatic for me. But you guys, let me know what your thoughts were on this episode. Anything you want to tell me, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.